of how you feel is what you're doing. What are you doing with Bitcoin right now? Are you buying or selling?
Whenever I have some spare cash, we buy more Bitcoin. Yeah.
What do you tell people out there who are now, and this chorus is growing a little bit louder, saying Bitcoin's a bubble, the liquidity from the Fed, that big tide is coming in, and it is proving to be just a speculative investment, and it's popping?
Yeah, people are skeptical of Amazon and Google and Facebook, but the next digital transformation is the digital transformation of property, money, and energy, and Bitcoin represents that transformation. So 8 billion people are going to want to move money at the speed of light on a mobile phone. What I would tell them is Bitcoin is the asset. Bitcoin is the network to move money at the speed of light. There is no other open permissionless protocol to do it. So technology is on our side. This is the future of the internet.
The biggest investors in Bitcoin is called Michael Saylor. We talked to him before. He's co-founded and now still runs MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor joins us tonight with an update on how he's feeling about Bitcoin markets. Michael, thanks so much for coming on. So you're the voice that people who are interested in this topic listen to, I think, most carefully. How are you feeling about Bitcoin?
Look, Bitcoin's the most certain thing in a very uncertain world. And in a market full of chaos and sound and fury, people need a safe place to stand apart from the intervention of a government, an agency, or a corporation. So Bitcoin represents a fair, open, equitable network with a very simple promise to anyone that wants to join, which is what you own is yours and no one's going to take it away from you.
Do you think that one of the ideas behind Bitcoin was that it wouldn't be directly correlated to the equities market? So if the S&P dropped, Bitcoin wouldn't. Are we going to see that?
Well, in these markets right now, there's no simple place to hide. All the indexes are in bear market territory. Bonds don't represent a safe refuge because they're currency derivatives.
No.
Stocks have to grow their cash flows faster than the inflation rate. But if you zoom out 2 years since the beginning of the COVID crisis, you notice the U.S. money supply has expanded 36%. Gold is up 7%. The S&P index is up 29%. The Nasdaq's only up 19%. Bitcoin's up 229%. So if you can stomach the volatility and you take the long view, you've got a safe haven there.
So, I guess the simplest measure of how you feel is what you're doing. What are you doing with Bitcoin right now? Are you buying or selling?
Whenever I have some spare cash, we buy more Bitcoin. Yeah, we're taking a very, very long view toward this. The network's only getting better. Adoption is improving. Very constructive regulation is coming out of DC. And the Lightning Network is moving us closer to Satoshi's promise of letting everybody in the world trade with each other at the speed of light in a fair and equitable fashion.
So you're buying?
Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever. Right? The maximalists believe Bitcoin's an instrument of economic empowerment. I'm not trying to time in the market.
Right.
I just want to be in it.
I always want to know what people are doing, not what they're saying. So that really tells the story. Michael Saylor, great to see you tonight. Thank you very much.
The reason that Bitcoin is going to win is because it's the most thermodynamically sound asset. It is the one that needs the least amount of energy, that it is the most robust to volatility. Whatever happens, whatever chaos ensues, it just makes Bitcoin that much more important and that much more successful. Ultimately, Bitcoin is going to continue to grow from 5 billion to 50 billion to 500 billion to 5 trillion to 50 trillion to 500 trillion. It's going to grow. The only thing that we can do is decide who wins and who loses. If you educate your friends and you educate your corporations and they adopt Bitcoin early. In the past 12 months, there's been a crackdown on crypto. So I think that the crypto star is falling. Crypto exchanges are under pressure. Cryptocurrencies in the form of stable coins are under pressure. Crypto securities and crypto tokens are under pressure. Crypto DeFi exchanges are under pressure. But at the same time, the Bitcoin star is rising. Bitcoin has been more legitimized by every agency. The regulatory clarity of Bitcoin has become greater, distinguished vis-a-vis every other crypto. the action of regulators in order to distinguish Bitcoin from crypto has been emboldened. They've taken the gloves off, and they're pursuing all of the substitutes for Bitcoin in the crypto ecosystem, and they're engaging in an educational exercise to educate the entire world that Bitcoin is not crypto. So the last 12 months, I think, have been good for Bitcoin, have been hard for crypto. And now, if you don't understand the difference, right, you're not reading. It's either nothing, right? If it's nothing, then it's getting scrubbed out and banned. And of course, we now know that it's not getting banned, right? There's no way that Fidelity, Citadel, BlackRock, Charles Schwab, Deutsche Bank, Credit Agricole, Banco Santander all decide they're interested in this, right? They're not endorsing. The biggest idea of Bitcoin is separation of property from earth. Most rich people in the world, wealthy people, they own property. They own city blocks in London because they have to convert their capital into a property asset which the government cannot print more of. And so instead of actually buying $1 billion building in the middle of a city, buy $1 billion of Bitcoin because the maintenance cost is lower. You can move it to any city on earth. The biggest idea of Bitcoin, Michael, what we're seeing is a migration of developer activity from the rest of the crypto ecosystem to the Bitcoin base layer. So there's been a lot of stuff done with NFTs and smart contracts and other ideas on all the other cryptos. What you're seeing is Bitcoin is emerging as the winner, and people realize it's the low risk network. The example I used the other day is, what if I just burned my will on, and encrypted and inscribed my will onto Bitcoin? The ordinals and the inscriptions, they created a burst of activity, and they created a bubble in transaction fees. I mean, transaction fees went all the way up to be equal to the entire block reward for a while this weekend. And now they're cooling off a bit, but I think we had a period when you could do transactions for 1, 2, 3 sats per V-byte. I don't think we're going to see those days again. I think we're going to actually see transaction fees that are 10x, 100x that. A year ago, before Terra Luna, before all the bankruptcies, the question is what's going to happen. And then the plea has been, give us regulatory clarity. I think we're getting clarity. And I think the clarity is Bitcoin's a crypto commodity, and the regulators aren't going to interfere with it. And if you want to actually own and buy a crypto commodity in the form of Bitcoin, you're fine. I think the crypto exchanges are going to be reorganized. I think the cryptocurrencies in the form of stablecoin are going to be regulated, if not regulated out of existence. I think the crypto tokens and crypto securities are going to be regulated, perhaps out of existence. So you've got your clarity. Your clarity is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most secure network. It's the most secure asset. Everything else has got a black cloud hanging over it, and you're going to see a consistent flow of capital flowing from the rest of the crypto ecosystem to Bitcoin, and you're going to see a consistent flow of development effort flowing from the crypto ecosystem on top of the Bitcoin ecosystem.